You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting. Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Hello, welcome back to the latest Skyrim Addict podcast. I'm Michael. I'm joined by Colin.
Good evening.
And Ray.
Good afternoon.
So this week, to start off the show, we have some pretty somber news. Adam, who was a big part of the community, and had found out he had leukemia last year, passed away this week, and his wife kept us up to date actually in the Facebook group, which was incredibly selfless and touching that she thought of that, honestly, in a time where I can only imagine
the grief.
Yeah, everything she's going through, and to consider I guess his online friends or whatever, however you want to couch it, is just was amazing, and kind of shows who both of them are. So super nice, Holly and Adam. That was a pretty amazing thing. Actually, let me read the post that she had posted the other day. Let's see. I would like to let you know that Adam's condition turned critical 2 days ago. He's in the hospital as a hospice patient and not expected to live for another day or two. He has really enjoyed being in the group and has shared so many stories with me from your posts and the podcast. He's no longer able to speak, but I know if he could, he would tell you all goodbye and thank you. And then a lot of people commented on that, and it was just like he passed, I believe, later that night or overnight the next night, if I'm not mistaken. And that was just I was blown away by her sentiments, and it was a tough couple days thinking about it, honestly.
Yeah, it's Adam was, well, as I said in the comments, he was. Every time he commented on something, it was always, "Oh, isn't this awesome?" And "Oh, that's great. I love your picture." And "Oh, I really enjoyed this thing that you did." And "Please keep it coming because I really enjoy it." That's what all his posts were about. It wasn't sort of like, "Oh, I played this and this got messed up," or "I played this game and I didn't really like it," or anything like that. It's always sort of like, supportive, positive, and I know he had a lot of fun playing Fallout 4, and sort of like, and that's he joined, I think, the group when the Let's Plays, when you started doing the Let's Plays, the Skyrim Let's, and he really enjoyed those. I know he's listened to Pat's Fallout New Vegas playthrough a couple of times. He enjoyed it so much. So
yeah, because over last year or so, he had spent a lot of time in the in and out of the hospital, obviously, and I know he was listening to them during some of his stays.
Yeah, just a really supportive guy, a member of the group, and he's going to be deeply missed in the group. He's one of those guys who always says, "Yeah, bring more content, do this, do that. It's awesome. I think it's great. Keep it coming." And then he'd add his own 2 cents and always make it better.
Yeah, it was when that post popped up, I was kind of it takes you back a little bit, and it's like, wow. And then, of course, the post that he had passed, and just the overwhelmingly positive comments from everybody in there, and then also Holly had posted some pictures of when they went to Boston, and he did the toured some of the Fallout 4 sites while he still could, which was awesome to see. So it's just I don't know. I'm glad we could be some part of his life, because he really was a great member of, or a great friend of ours. It just so warm and just so positive, like you're saying. It was our pleasure, for him to be a part of everything.
Definitely.
Yeah, and he never really got down. He was always, even when he was really struggling with his therapies and stuff, um, he still made sure to send positive comments to people.
Yeah, and he kind of kept everybody, up to date through the past year or so, little over a year when he found out, and that was, I mean, that was amazing to share that with everybody, even though it was something incredibly hard he was going through. It's just something more than just gaming. It's uh, just sharing life with each other. It was pretty incredible to
It was,
be a part of.
yeah, and it was clear to see how much support he got from Holly and how amazing she was.
Oh my gosh.
The amount of posts he put on there about how much he loved her and how
Mhm.
much she loved him and stuff, like, always together. They were married, I think, like 3 years last year, I think.
Yeah.
And it was plain to see the support that he got from her and how much they liked each other. So I think that's where he got most of his strength from.
Yeah. Yeah. And just you can see just by the way she thought of everybody else during all this, how selfless they both are, and that's just an amazing thing to have. So yeah, he will definitely be
Yeah,
missed in the group for sure.
definitely.
Not just in the group, but in the group of people. Not.
But basically all that knew him was going to miss him.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely one of the.
I assume you're talking about Adam, as I just joined,
Yes.
and I agree with everything I've heard so far.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of wanted to recount the week's events and just how just kind of how truly kind of a person Adam was.
Yeah, he was, and an inspiration too.
Yeah, to go through what he did the past year and a half and just truly, like Colin had said, in such a positive manner, and both him and Holly, and then the way she shared and the way he shared, it was that's hard to do. That's really hard to do. Yeah,
Yes.
Very brave
mm-hmm.
to be able to walk and face that and sort of like talk about it.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad we could provide him some, diversion over during it.
Hey, if you got a little time not thinking of, for a while during that time, that's great. Or laughing at Andrew not getting muffle boots or something like that.
Which is always funny. Yeah.
Which is always entertaining. So
Yeah, he used to join in my live streams once in a while. So
yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, he had joined us on a few of the early Patreon streams we had did.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly him and Mikhail and Frater while we did those. So yeah, he was just a really, really kind person.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to transition from that.
No, well, we don't.
It's such a heavy, it was a heavy thing. I just all the best to his family and to Holly, and
Indeed, yeah.
And we definitely won't forget him.
So, yeah, I'd like to canvass people if anybody remembers what his most hated enemy was in Skyrim, and I will do a special live stream killing as many of them as possible.
That would be amazing. Let's see. I was actually going through his posts, just seeing what he was doing, and God, there was one about Skyrim. What the heck was it?
He was playing mostly Fallout, wasn't he?
Yeah, he mostly Fallout, but he had some Skyrim. He did listen to the the Let's Plays quite a bit. Let's see. Where the heck was it? He had said something about he was going to Skuldafn. That's what it was. Yeah. It seems like
anyway.
Yeah. There was a dragon over Falkreath that he had an issue with, so you can always go hang out in Falkreath and kill a dragon and find it because his disappeared.
Or at least I'll dedicate a live stream to it.
Yeah. And and if you want to support anyway, they in lieu of any kind of memorial, they were doing donations to the was it Leukemia and Lymphoma Foundation? I believe is what it was. And so you can donate there in his name if you wish, or anything like that if you're a friend of him, if you know him.
Is that posted on the group?
I think it was with
Good.
the memorial post and all, but I want to do another post again.
Okay, cool.
Because there's so much stuff flowing through there with Fallout 76. It things can get lost, so I want to do a general.
Oh, that game.
Yeah. With that other game, we have one of those traders on today. But,
yes, we do.
Oh gosh.
So I always keep the Skyrim bit going in the Fallout feed. So.
Oh yeah.
Ray was Fallout first, weren't you, Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it wasn't until Andrew convinced me to get Skyrim just before the
It was a roundtable
special edition came out.
That's what it was. It was a special edition roundtable, right?
Yeah, and then for the roundtable, what the heck? And then a couple of thousand hours later.
Yeah. Indeed.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I found the Switch. It's still in the glove box, so I gotta get it out of there, so I can pick up on my character. I've been mostly watching Connor play Skyrim rather than playing Skyrim myself, because he picks it up every now and again. But I know he'll definitely be playing a lot coming up soon because we're going to San Diego, and him and I will be there for like about 10 days. So. He'll bring his laptop, and he plays on the plane. He plays a lot of Skyrim, so that's
nice.
Like his thing. His travel thing is Skyrim. So Fortnite's fallen by the wayside. Yesterday's news. Well. We're back to Skyrim again. So, and I was telling them he tends to replay the main quest over and over and over and over. He's like main quest and Mage's Quest, and that's like his jam. But he was playing with some mods on Xbox One, so he was liking those because it was the ones that that changed the standing stones and changed the shouts. I forget which was it, Andromeda or something like that. So there's a bunch of those on there, Divine Cities, things like that. So just little tweaks to make it more fun.
Change it up.
Yeah. Just change it up a little bit. Ordinator. He liked Ordinator a lot. He's like, oh, whoa, this has a lot better stuff.
I've been playing a character with is it Vokri or Vokrill? I can't remember his latest one, that's sort of pared down version.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, I was going to start a new character, actually, and try and do the scroll thing. So I might actually, I'm going to probably play my roundtable character while I'm away and get all caught up on that, and then work on the scroll character. I like the idea of the scroll thing still. I feel like in vanilla that's going to be a heck of a challenge.
Yeah, you really need to be able to craft scrolls and things.
Yeah. I'm going to see. I want to kind of play it vanilla and see how it goes, just as a test, just to see how it is, and then if it's incredibly tedious and boring, I'll add a mod where I can craft scrolls.
I don't know if it's actually, I can check it out as we speak, but somebody just came out with a mod recently that this has nothing to do with scrolls, but it has to do with alternate magic delivery systems. Arrows that have fire, frost, and shock explosions. And you need to craft them with void salts, frost salts, and fire salts.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But
that was in Percus Maximus, I think.
Yeah. Yes, it was. But this is a separate mod that allows you to craft them.
Yeah, but you use like fire salts and you get like 10 arrows. I think it was. It's really something stupid.
For Percus Maximus, you do, but for this mod, you get a lot more than that. I think. I just going to see if it's actually available on Xbox One too.
Yeah. If not, there might be another. I know there was other archery mods that had it in the past.
But if you're doing a vanilla, I think all the mages sell scrolls. It's just that you got to make enough money to be able to buy them all.
I'm gonna have to become a part of the college and be able to buy scrolls more readily. You know. And
What about staves? Are you doing staves as well?
I was
Or
thinking
just
about
scroll?
that. I want to try the scrolls first and see like how that goes.
And staves aren't bad because you can make them at the Atronach Forge, right? So
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, you're right.
You don't have
Yeah.
to. So you don't have to find them necessarily.
Yeah, that
Or
would
you can
give more
you can go
flexibility.
to, but now you have to get advanced image. You can make your own staves at over in Soul's Time at
Yeah, Tel Mithrin.
Tel Mithrin. There we go.
Yeah.
And the only problem is, there's one that you can't make. That I think it's Icy Spear, and you can't make it. When you go to make Icy Spear, it's Ice Spike.
It doesn't do the full.
Yeah, and it's written into the game that it's missing. But if you do get the Broomer mod and go to the the mage that's outside, like he's living in the streets basically in Bruma, and he's a bit mad, and he sells all these crazy sort of like spells that hardly ever work. But he sells a staff of Icy Spear, which I don't know if they knew about it, that it was a fault in the game and you can't get it in the original game, or whether he just happened to have an Icy Spear staff.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize you couldn't. Because I don't really use the staves that much, so I never really paid attention to what the limitations were on it.
Well, when you make them, you have to have the spell to be able to make the staff.
To make the staff, yeah.
So so you'd have to level up destruction to be able to make like Icy Spear and was it Icy Wind and stuff like that.
You don't need that at the Atronach Forge, but you still need to be able to use a little bit of magic to even get in there, right? So I guess it's if you're trying to play a completely non-magical character, even the Atronach Forge doesn't really.
Yeah, that might still.
Well, you can get in there with the Dragonborn, but you have to do the Dragonborn quest.
Yeah,
and you have to go all the way to the part where you meet Parthenax as well.
Oh, okay.
You have to wait until Parthenax sends you to the Mages Guild till you find information on the scroll, and then they'll give you the option to when you're trying to get into the college, then you can say, "Oh, I'm Dragonborn," and then you can do a shout, and she'll let you in. Any other time, you have to do a spell.
What if you cast a scroll though? Will that let you in? You think?
I think I did use a scroll or a stave once.
Yeah,
I thought you had to do what she told you to do. No?
You have to do what she tells you to do. But if you have a scroll of it,
yeah, you might be able to go through.
You can go through with that. I'm pretty sure I done it once.
Huh? I never thought of that.
With a I think it was an Atronach with a flame Atronach staff.
Huh. Interesting. I'm looking up these. Soul Master is the modder that did these arrows. Let's see if there doesn't seem to be any notation on his Nexus page that says anything about Xbox One, but if anybody's looking for them, they are by a modder named Soul Master, or Soul Master 2, I guess. So anyway, a lot of cool mods coming out lately. A lot of interesting UI mods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been testing any of them out, or?
I downloaded a shitload of them yesterday, but I haven't. There's a new one called iEquip, which gives you a sort of a rotating selectable thing, a la some other games, and there's another new one. Shoot, I just shut down the window. Let's see. It's not popping up. Sorry, it's already scrolled off. The latest. Cycle hotkeys. That's one. Favorite things is another one, which completely revamps the Sky UI favorite menu, which is kind of cool. Gives you much longer, a lot more visible things, and it won't do the ellipsis at the end of a long name that it can't fit. It'll actually fit the entire name of whatever it is. If it's the magical dastardly stave of almighty blah de blah. You'll see the whole thing, so you'll know what it is.
You'll get the whole
I
thing.
used one of those the other day.
Yeah, me too. Not some very good results either. And then there's another one that I discovered that isn't that new, called Wider MCM or something like that, which makes the MCM bigger and so easier to navigate all the text and stuff in it. It's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I've been experimenting a lot with Complete Alchemy and Cooking Overhaul lately too.
Oh.
So that's germane to a couple things Kenneth said in his feedback.
Oh, yes.
Which was really good. Another good one.
Excellent.
So.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were actually joking about some of it.
And another mod that sorry to interrupt, that I meant to mention before I forget. Somebody just popped up with a new ethereal staff, because we were talking about how useless everything but the crown is. I think it was last time anyway.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
And this one allows. Let's see. This mod, I don't know how good it is because it's just popped up recently, and there are only a couple of thumbs up on it, but aims to 11 new upgradable summons on top of the first 2 for a total of 13 summons that scale with you and gain perks as you level. So it sounds interesting.
So you can summon a centurion then?
I think so, yep. It does, yes, credit. Let's see. Dwarven chariot follower, Dwarven colossus. And then he's crediting all the mod authors that he got permission from to use their particular. So he's used something from Apocalypse. He's used something from Arcanum, which was another new magic overhaul. Dwarven Sentinels. So yeah, a whole bunch of cool looking stuff that you can summon with that, and it looks like it's reasonably. I don't know if lore friendly is the right word, but reasonably well balanced anyway. It's not like totally OP. Okay. So
yeah, he said he's added to the level list. So
right, yeah.
Was it? You probably have to be level up blacksmithing maybe.
He doesn't say here. Each summon chance to have mishap. Your summons grow. You can upgrade your summons when you acquire the ancient knowledge spell. All right, so that's one way. Summon portion of the spell was changed into a normal conjuration spell that you can use when the staff is equipped. Staff now has a shock spell that fires off a massive ball of plasma and leaves behind a shock hazard that damages and staggers enemies who try to walk over it. And then for more info, read the manual bundled with the mod. Now I haven't done that yet. So clearly he's written a reasonably comprehensive. A lot of pictures, nice images. But yeah, he's got a dwarven gear Hulk, which looks really, really awesome. Wow. Let me tell you what. I don't know who that came from. I'll look in a second. Dwarven chariot. I mean, there's some really cool looking summons. Those came from I think Gears. I don't know, but he used several mods to summon. So it looks pretty darn cool. Yeah. So that might be worth running through and making that staff.
Yeah, when I was modding once, I do remember trying to add some stuff to the Ethereum Forge quest, and the only thing I found was like a skin, not graphic. What was it called?
New textures.
Textures. There we go. Thank you. It was only in new textures. That was pretty much all I could find for the Ethereum Forge. It wouldn't change what they did. It only ever changed the textures of them, made them look a little bit snazzier, and made it so you could wear the crown with a hood and a mask. I think that's all I could find.
Oh yeah. Huh. I'll pop open. I know I downloaded the mod and just installed it into my mod organizer list. So while we're talking, I'll see if I can find that document he's talking about. Anyway, yeah, I've been doing a lot of playing with SE lately, trying to make it look good.
Oh yeah, trying to get it to your liking.
I think moderate success. Yeah. In fact, I did a live stream last week or the week before. Everybody was surprised I was playing SE.
Yeah, that's true because you haven't really. Yeah.
No, I haven't much. But yeah, I've got to look pretty well. So, Anyway, that's modding talk for this time.
Well, I guess we can do Kenneth's feedback then. So let me pull that up.
Skooma. Oh, the sweet, savory flavor. After leaving Stalio at Travis Watch, I had continued my trip back to Riften and stumbled across a Khajiit trade caravan heading west. They had some skooma, and I made sure to buy the mix that didn't cause hallucinations. At least, I thought I had, as I walked through the forest. But I heard a woman screaming, and double-checked the bottle. But no, the screams were real, coming from a tower nearby. I ran inside to see a mage killing another mage, impaling her with ice spikes. I nocked an arrow, aiming at her chest, demanding her to explain what happened. Her name was Ilya. She was a young Imperial mage. She admitted the situation looked bad, but she wanted to destroy the other mages here at Darklight Tower, who were in fact witches. Her mother, Sylvia, was their leader and was attempting to turn herself into a Hagraven. Ilya seemed sincere in her change of heart regarding this, so I decided to help her, cautiously. We worked our way up to the tower, killing witches and a Hagraven. Right before we reached her mother, Ilya told me the best strategy was for us to pretend that I was her sacrifice for the ceremony. Typically, I would never trust someone I just met in this scenario, but she did just help me kill several witches, so I was willing to play along for a little while. But I also didn't know if Ilya was wanting to overthrow her mother, taking the power for herself. I walked towards the chair I was supposed to sit in to be sacrificed, and quickly turned, firing an arrow and hitting Sylvia in the side. Ilya immediately shot ice spikes into her mother, and Sylvia summoned a frost atronach. It chased after me relentlessly, but I was able to climb on some rocks out of its reach, and continued to shoot arrows at Sylvia. Ilya got the final hit in, killing her mother with her ice magic. The atronach vanished, and Ilya knelt at her mother's body, weeping. She had spent her whole life dedicated to her mother's descent into evil, but now she didn't know what to do with her life. I told her to follow me, that she could start doing some good. Ilya and I left Darklight Tower and headed to Riften. She had been fairly isolated from city life and was amazed by the hustle and bustle of the market, the shady places in the city, and the docks where fishers set out daily on the lake to bring their catch back each day. As we walked the docks late into the evening, we stumbled across an Argonian lady named From Deepest Fathoms. She mumbled something incoherently, possibly from madness or dementia. Had she fallen prey to Shagarath? I had heard legends of the people who ventured to the Shivering Isles. They usually came back with problems in their minds. For just a moment she spoke clearly, saying her name was From Deepest Fathoms, and she had unfortunately been cursed with madness after taking a lexicon from a Dwemer ruin, Avenshinzel. She asked us to return the lexicon to free her from the nightmare. We set out immediately. Navigating the ruin took almost a day, but it was fairly uneventful. Periodically, we saw ghostly apparitions of From Deepest Fathoms, along with 3 followers of hers, a series of magical flashbacks that guided our way. We occasionally fought off dwarven machines, from dwarven spiders to a dwarven centurion. Eventually, we replaced the lexicon and returned to Riften. When we got back to the city, Ilya and I checked in on From Deepest Fathoms. Thank Yifre, she was now of sound mind. She thanked us for helping her. After helping From Deepest Fathoms, Ilya and I went back to stay the night in the Riften Inn, but a guard spoke to me as I passed him. He said something about giving the black eye to. He said something about me giving the Thalmor a black eye at Northwatch Keep. It had to be Thorold who was spreading word about that. Damn him to oblivion. I checked around town, and it seems he had regained his passion for the war and returned to the Stormcloak forces in Windhelm. I wrote a letter to my Thalmor contact in Imperial City, explaining why I had to attack Northwatch Keep. My goal, after all, was to gain favor with all the local Nords, including Stormcloak sympathizers. Besides, I explained, if the Thalmor interrogator was so incompetent that information about which prisoners were being held where, then he deserved to die for his failures. I hoped the cold and callous thought would placate my Thalmor agent. But even so, it would be best to spend some time away from the cities for a while. I remembered Kyne's trials, as well as the priestess of Mara's request for helping some couples find love. I figured those would be the best use of time as I wandered the countryside and stayed more inconspicuous. Ilya was even up for the adventure. The first love story we helped out was far to the west in Markarth. It took a couple weeks to get there, but we hunted a couple of the guardian beasts along the way. When we arrived, we sought our first quest. A man named Calcimo. He was an older high elf, a researcher of Drimmer artifacts. He had an interest in Feline, the personal housecarl of Jarl Egmont. She was a Redguard warrior, very stoic. What he saw in her, I won't ever understand, but we did help him out. He was afraid to speak with her, so we consulted his friend Ingvar, a local bard, who gave us a romantic poem to give to Feline on Calcimo's behalf. It worked. I don't know how. For all her serious demeanor, she had a soft spot for words, apparently. Our final romantic quest for Mara took us east to Rorikstead, a village on the far western border of Whiterun Hold, not far from the Reach. Just a ways southeast of the village was Jukar's Monument, a stone tower honoring an ancient battle. That's where our final quest was, a lady named Ruki. Except she wasn't alive. She was a ghost, wandering the old battlefield looking for her lost love. When we spoke to her, she told us where to find him. Finrig was not far away, having been killed in a different battle during that long-forgotten war. We found his ghost and escorted him back to Ruki. As soon as they joined hands, they began to rise into the night sky, finally at peace. I looked over at Ilya, seeing her wipe a tear from her eyes. My eyes blurred as well, as the sentiment of the moment rested on my heart. After leaving Rorikstead, Ilya and I explored more of Whiterun Hold, and hunted a couple more of the guardian beasts. As time passed, I got to know her a bit more. I found her rather beautiful. I appreciated her intelligence and her sincerity, and the fact that she was a mage. Something about mages always attracted me. Even so, she was not quite what I was looking for in a lady. Come to think of it, if all the things I mentioned weren't enough for me to approach her romantically, then maybe I didn't even know what I was looking for. Oh, look, a cave. I wonder what's inside. Ilya said those words one afternoon as we passed by a small hill. Those words still haunt me to this day. Sure enough, there was a cave opening. We wandered in and were attacked by a vampire. But we quickly killed it. Without even speaking to each other, Ilya and I knew what to do. This cave was reminiscent of our attack up Darklight Tower to kill her mother. We ascended a flight of stairs, into a second room, and were immediately attacked by another vampire. This one was far more fierce than the first. The cave was too small for me to put my bow to proper use, so I kept bashing him with my bow while Ilya used her ice magic. Unfortunately, he was resistant to it, so I resorted to using my basic flame spell, spraying him with weak flames. I put my shout to use as well, hitting him with Foos. Eventually he knelt down in near defeat, and I pulled out Nettlebane, stabbing him in the back. I bent over, catching my breath, and looked over to Ilya. She had slumped to the floor, gasping for air. No. I rushed over to see her bleeding from stab wounds to the gut. Her face looked very pale. It was obvious the vampire had cast a life-draining spell as he had fought against her. I tore through the vampire lair, going through chests, dressers, looking for anything that could help me heal her. But I found nothing. So I went to lay healing hands on her to see if it would help. But her chest stopped moving, and she exhaled for the final time. Dead. I knelt by her body for a moment, rage building inside. I reached my right hand out to the vampire's body and burned it until all that was remained was a skeleton. Y'ffre, why has this happened? I looked around for any sign, anything that could help me in my grief. In Ilya's backpack was a book, one she had taken from Darklight Tower. I had seen her reading it as we traveled, but it was written in ancient Dwemer, so I could not understand it. The title was The Ethereum Wars. Whatever it was important to her. I'd have to find a translator to see if there was something in the book I could do for Ilya. Some quest to finish in her honor. I carried Ilya's body outside. How should I prepare for her body for burial? She was an Imperial by race, but didn't have any family. And what if she was infected with vampirism? I only had one potion to cure disease, which I had already consumed. I decided to build a wood pyre and burn her remains. But what else could I do? She didn't follow a religion, so I didn't want to recite Green Pact words over her. But then I remembered Nettlebane. I had just used it to kill the master vampire. Its handle was made of wood, so it would burn. It had been created by a hagraven to kill Spriggans, but now it would burn with the lady who killed a hagraven. I'm sure there was something poetic in that, although I couldn't piece it together in the moment. I laid it on her chest and lit the pyre. The smoke rose in the afternoon sky. I didn't care who saw. If there were more vampires, let them come. I will feed on their flesh. After mourning the loss of Ilya, I decided to return to Whiterun, since it was only a half-day's journey east. I realized I hadn't been there since I had killed that first dragon at the Western Watchtower with Goldir. The Jarl wanted to see me again, regarding the dragon. He already knew about me being the Dragonborn, but I made sure to give proper credit to Goldir for killing the dragon, and for leading a team of Whiterun guards in the attack. Even so, Jarl Bolgraf made me Thane of Whiterun, and assigned a personal housecarl to me. I had not bought a house in the city yet, but figured it would be useful to have a Thalmor safe house here. I spoke to the steward, Proventus Evanici, and purchased Breezehome, a house down in the market district, for 5,000 gold. He offered to sell me a full complement of furnishings in the house if I wanted. I asked how long it would take until the furnishings were delivered, and with a big smile he said they'd be there quicker than I imagined. So I decided to pay the extra 1,800 for the furnishings, hoping they'd be delivered in a couple days or so. Lydia told me she'd show me to the house. She was pretty and strong. She said she favored a sword and a shield in combat, and was decent with a bow. She sounded kind, but was also very solemn. When we reached the house, she left me, saying she'd go get her items before moving in, which gave me the chance to explore my new house alone. When I stepped inside, I found the house was already furnished. Seriously? Were the furnishings already inside the house at the sale price of 5,000? Or would a crew of tradesmen come in and strip the house of the furniture if I had chosen not to pay the extra 1,800? Had the steward just conned me? Whatever. It was Thalmor's gold anyways, since they kept fundraising my mission here. Eventually, Lydia returned, carrying a small backpack of items, as well as a great sword and a sack with ebony boots. I asked her about the sword, since she had already told me she favored one-handed weapons. She said the great sword belonged to the man she loved. It was an ancient Nordic sword, to be precise, a family heirloom of his. The ebony boots had a muffle enchantment on them. Apparently, this mysterious love of hers could never find a pair of heavy boots with the muffle enchantment, so she bought him a pair. Unfortunately, he hadn't returned after he left on his latest quest. I realized that's probably why she was so solemn. Was he dead? Or did he abandon the relationship with her? I didn't want to ask. She apologized for bringing the items and said she'd store the junk in her room. But no, I told her. I placed the sword on the weapon rack across the landing from her room, and the boots on the cabinet below the sword. The next day, we returned to the keep. I hoped the court wizard Farengar would help me translate Ilya's book, The Ethereum Wars. He said he didn't have time, but I saw the look on his face when he tried to read the book. It was obvious he couldn't read the ancient Dwemer text. Pompous ass. I wonder how he even got the title of court wizard. Anyways, Lydia suggested the College of Winterhold, so we set out immediately. The journey was long, traveling the cold and snow. When we arrived, the wizards needed a display of magic before they let me in. And, well, I shouted Foos in their faces. That worked. As I entered the main courtyard, I was impressed with the architecture. Obviously, as a Bosmer, I prefer the forest, but I will give credit where it's due. The building was beautiful. Although it was standing on a stone column hundreds of feet above the frigid sea below. A magical explosion caused the rest of the town to fall in the sea, while only the college remained. Mages do dangerous experiments? Say it isn't so. As I marveled at the college, I felt someone bump into me. I turned to see the most beautiful Dunmer picking up a couple books she had dropped. Her name was Brelina Marion. 2 months later. I realized I haven't even updated my journal in quite a while. After meeting Brelina, I had completely lost track of my mission. I spent time pursuing her. She is the most delightful person I've ever spent time with. Poor Lydia got bored, and so I sent her back home to Whiterun. She was probably lovesick seeing me fall in love. Anyways, Brianna and I are due to wed, although we have not set a date. We've certainly had fun, though. We traveled to Morthal, as she had some errands to take care of there. We helped the Jarl investigate a mage who was up to nighttime experiments, although we didn't discover what they were exactly. We also helped with deliveries and mining, but I refused to chop wood, obviously. The biggest task we took care of was hunting an ancient vampire, Movarth. He had plans to overrun the whole story, slowly bringing it under his will. But with the help of, well, no one, we slayed him. And I do mean no one. Because when we got outside his lair, the sight of all the blood and bones scared the Nords terribly, and they ran. Y'ffre have mercy on them if they ever see the aftermath of a typical Green Pact feast. Movarth's lair was rather tame by my people's standards. Anyways, after killing Movarth, I was declared Thane of Morthal, and we bought a house. Brianna was so excited for this one. It was essentially a mansion. A small foyer with a large hall in the middle. 3 towers circled the main hall. An enchanting tower, an alchemy lab, and a library. It was a mage's dream home. But as she was getting excited about moving into the house, I was getting nervous, trying to hide the true purpose of buying this house. The 3rd Thalmor safe house I had purchased for the Aldmeri Dominion. Y'ffre, guide my hand and my mind. I sometimes don't know what to do. All the while, Brianna was working on translating and understanding the book, The Ethereum Wars. At long last, she had finished. She laid out the quest for us, to complete. I could tell it was going to take a long time. And that's where I'm going to wrap up this particular recording. Got through everything but the Ethereum Wars Lost Ages quest. I'll tag that on the beginning of my next recording. And stupid YouTube ads. I was going to be playing the Pretty Woman theme song, or that Pretty Woman song there as I met Brianna, but oh well. Technical fail there. Regarding the last feedback, you guys were talking about the Ordinator, how I had thought it was a little too easy to get all those effects that quickly at level 30. And the idea I actually thought of was to get rid of the eating ingredients to learn the effects, in so much as it requires a perk to do that. But if you have it set up where you destroy an ingredient at an alchemy table to learn the effects, like enchanting is anyways, then that would allow you to, over time, just naturally learn the effects of all the ingredients. You would have to eventually destroy 4 ingredients to learn all 4 effects of that particular ingredient. So something like a Daedra Heart, of course, would just take longer because they're more rare and scarce in the game. And then you just make it a perk, allowing you to eat it. So that way you can do that in the field, and it's the convenience factor at that point. And I think the rate at which you find those things would be decent enough that you would not level up too quickly, but it wouldn't take too slow. At least that's my thoughts. Regarding missing in action with Thorold at Northwatch Keep, Victor, you nailed it when you guessed that it was an improv on my part. It was, because at the time I was writing, I was just like, well, I need to get to Riften, so I might as well tell him to go there too. And I didn't think that would come to anything. I thought that would be the end of it. But, this game just, it writes it. The story starts writing itself, which I like. And so guards and NPCs will comment about your exploits. Obviously, it's just scripted as part of the game. So when I walked by a guard and he commented, a Riften guard, and he commented on the Northwatch Keep quest, I was like, oh, that was just gold. Perfect for the writing. So, damn it, Thorod kept running his mouth. Let's see. Oh, and I did take Steven's advice and adjusted the meat harvesting amount with Hunterborn. That's definitely helped. But I also take it one step further. Steven was talking about selling the meat, which I'll do. But what I'll do now, because I don't fast travel all that often, is as I'm walking along, if I come across a town or a settlement, a cabin, a mill, a camp, or whatever, I'll just drop the food on the ground and just kind of, in my head, I'm giving it to them. And if they don't pick it up, that's on it's their decision. And regarding the Draugr, I think there is a certain amount of soul within them, so you are killing them a second time, I guess. And I was thinking actually doing a season of ASA as the Walking Dead Skyrim style, where we just go through all the barrows and places that have Draugr, as long as they're not buried in some in deep into some quest line, and as long as they're relatively entertaining, and then just kind of rank them from easiest to hardest and just kind of plow through them. That'd be a lot of fun. And yeah, the role play continues to be intense. Having Ilya join me only to die like she did was pretty rough, but I'm just letting this hellish world take care of Grail and have it be an interesting story as he stumbles along and has his highs and lows. So anyways, guys, thanks for having me on the podcast the other day. It was a ton of fun recording with you guys. Look forward to doing it again in the future. Other than that, take care, and I won't see you in the wasteland because we're not in a wasteland. But hey, I'll see you guys around. Take care.
All right, Kenneth, thank you. Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, awesome as always.
Great story. We had talked about a little bit before the show about how he worked everything together, all the storylines together with Ilya and Lost to the Ages and all that kind of stuff. How all that kind of played together. The wonderful inside joke to Andrew and the muffle boots in there as well.
Yeah. and he hates Farengar just as much as you do.
I thought it was a little bit of a nod to Colin too because of Lydia.
Yes, the Lydia stuff. Yes. Yeah. Yes, there was some very positive Lydia comments in there.
Yep.
Even though he did get lost with was it Braylina for a couple months.
Well, who can blame him? I mean,
yeah. I mean, look, yeah. These things happen.
It's those little twin buns, they're very cute. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I like the idea of having to have it translated from Dwemer.
Yes, that was pretty
really
cool.
Occurred to me.
Yeah, the lost, because that would make total sense. So, while it's not what's in the game, but it makes it even makes more sense almost than what's in the game, just picking it up.
Well, that if Katria was that much of a scholar, yeah, she might have written it in Dwemer, but she didn't write it, so
she had found it.
Yeah, she didn't write it. What's his name?
Her apprentice or whatever.
Yeah,
but it sort of makes sense to make it secret, right?
Yeah, so that not everybody could just come and check it out whenever they want it,
Yeah, the same as Gallus writing things in Falmer and stuff. The Thieves Guild quest there.
Yeah, I like how he worked it with, Lydia she passes away when they are exploring. God, where were they? I forget where they were.
Not Lydia,
Ilya.
Yeah. It was a vampire cave. I think he was in Shriekwin Bastion. I don't think he actually said where he was.
Okay, he was.
I don't remember if he did. No, okay. I don't think so.
Maybe he didn't. Yeah, maybe that's why.
But I think that's where he was, because he was working his way up, and then there was a master vampire right at the very top.
Yeah, and then that Ilya. I always hate it when Ilya meets her demise because she is really a great follower. Quite frankly, very aggressive, but very good. She's definitely aggressive though. Aggressive with the magic. But she's one of my favorites to grab as a follower, honestly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with her and with Hannes. He's sort of reserved her for a while, but of course I'm playing with follower mods, so my followers are marked as essential. So
yeah, so you don't have to worry about them disappearing like some of us do.
Yeah, I don't often play with a follower, but when I do, Ilya's my choice.
There you go. She's definitely one of my faves for followers for sure.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. That she's just.
I prefer it. Sorry, I prefer a tank over a mage.
Over a mage.
I kind of do. Too. That's why I go for Goldier so often.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Because a mage is usually running away, and
true.
That means because was it? I was doing the finding Red Eagle sword the other day. I needed a break from Sekiro, and I put my Roundtable character on, and I was playing through that. It was so nice. Apart from you can't lock on to enemies, I missed that instantly. I kept on hitting Lydia with with everything. But yeah, she kept the bow out and didn't run up to this Briarheart, and he came running out and one-shotted me in one go.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that's what I always get with mages and archers and things like that. They always stay back, and then inevitably the boss comes running at me and hits me once, and I die.
And you die.
Are you playing a legendary?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Expert or master or something like that.
Yeah, I've been playing on master a lot lately, and it's the quantity of one shots is high.
Yeah.
It is high.
Yeah, well, that's because I haven't put anything into, because I'm wearing light armor. I'm wearing the Thieves Guild Master. What's the Guild Masters duds and light armor. But I have no points in light armor, so
Oh, okay.
he had like an armor rating of 8 or something like that.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
He's not good up close. And the worst thing is that I had like spent time clearing the place. We first came through and we fought a couple, and Lydia killed them. And then I sort of went into the sneak, and then slowly, but because I have no points in illusion, he only has a couple of like illusion spells, which is muffle and invisibility. But invisibility costs so much because I've got no perk points into it, and everybody can hear it within 20 foot of it because I haven't got the silent casting. So I have to get be at least 30 feet away from them, cast it, and then get in really close.
Oh, geez.
But when I got anywhere near I cleared everything around the Briarheart up there at the top of was it Red Eagle's Redoubt or something like that? I think it is.
Yeah.
And once I got anywhere near him, I was invisible. Came around the corner, and he was, there you are, and he shot me with an arrow. That didn't hurt. It was I ran back down, and then sort of I ran close to Lydia enough because I told her to stay. But once she hears combat, she comes running. So I got close to her to bring her into the fight, but he kept on backing away and shooting arrows, and she kept backing away and then shooting arrows. So I was trying to get him out a bit. So I was running up close to him, and then you can run faster going forward than you can going backwards. So when I started to run backwards, he just clobbered me with one of those axes, and I died. And then I went all the way back to where I started, and I was like, Shaker, I'll go back to you now. I've had enough of a break.
Are you playing on the Xbox or on PC?
On Xbox, on both.
I'm just curious because I've been using TK Dodge a lot lately, but I'm certain that's not available on Xbox because it requires SKSE, etc. But that's really worthwhile little mod when you go back to PC. Allows you to do dodge rolls and things like that.
Oh,
keystrokes. It's really nice, actually. In any direction, or the 4 cardinal directions anyway.
Yeah, after playing so much of the Shadows Die Twice, I was definitely missing that lock on thing where you lock on a thing, and I miss it. But when I'm playing Sekiro, I hate it. Well, sometimes you lock on toe so you can keep on hitting the one guy and sort of dance around him, and you're always sort of pointed at him. But then when you need to run away or go he's sort of it's centered on the enemy. So, and then you have to press a separate button to try and unlock and then try and run away if you're in a bad situation. Yep. So you love it and you hate it at the same time. So, but every time when I'm back to Skyrim, I was just when you run up to an enemy, I was so good I could run up there with a two-handed warhammer and still hit my target. But I was just running up there with a dagger. I just kept on hitting everybody, and I had was doing 80 damage with enchantments on it. So it wasn't good.
My latest character is an orc that I've been playing with and trying to really make a concerted effort to learn Keiko, the complete alchemy and cooking overhaul, which is really complex and very, very extensive, and we've done pretty well. But I'm playing on master, so I've had a lot of one. He's finally getting powerful enough to hold his own at about level 17 now.
Yeah, that's about yeah.
And I picked up Who have I got following me now? I forget. I think I went back to Gold Ear, sort of old friend fallback. But it's a lot of fun. Keiko has a lot slower run up for alchemy because this guy is no magic at all. I'm not putting any points in magic whatsoever. I'm using Vokril and whatever his new race mod is, but I'm also using Andromeda and Winter Sun, his religion mod. But
Aetherius?
No, it's not Aetherius. The new race mod starts with an M. Morningstar or something like that. I don't know.
From Anaisan?
Yeah, from Ina Sheon, yeah. It's not Aetherius. I'm using Andromeda and Winter Sun, but the new race mod is something starting with an M. Anyway, it's good. The ramp up is slow, but once you get and that's right. This is what sort of dovetails in with Kenneth's comments. He mentioned again about points in alchemy. I think he was talking about the experimenter perk in Ordinator.
Oh yes,
yeah. That is really cheap.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no, but that's arguable. But I like his comments about it. But
how to fix it? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Colin. Go ahead. You don't think it's arguable?
No, not at all. It's like I think it's like level 30. I think
30, yeah.
And it's one perk.
Yep.
One perk, and you get to know every effect of every ingredient that you eat.
Yep.
It's way too cheap.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can role play it well. But anyway, the with Keiko, you can there are patches between the two, both Ordinator and Vokril. And one of Keiko's cool perks is, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's exactly what Kenneth was talking about in his feedback, and that is, it allows you to learn a little bit more the more you eat of each ingredient. So, and I really like that, and so you can like run through your list, keep harvesting as much as possible, and then just every once in a while just run through and eat a bunch of it and you'll pick up a couple more ingredient attributes here and there, and the more you do that, the more you learn, and the mod keeps track of it, because I don't think Keiko specifically has any perk that gives you all of the levels. And right now I don't know what Vokril has for its own alchemy, because I have it blended with Keiko, so I'm using most of Keiko's perks. Keiko also, allows you to create frost and fire and shock bombs and all kinds of other things, and oils and waxes for your arrows. It's got all kinds of amazing things. But that one perk I thought was really good. It's a really nice compromise between what I thought was, I didn't like the vanilla perk where you had to level, you had to get to like level 80 or 90 or something.
Yeah,
I think it's isn't it 50, and then you have to put 3 points into it.
Yes.
Yeah. And it goes up to 80. I think it's like
exactly,
50, 60, and 80. I think
it's a little too far in the opposite.
That is, that's too expensive.
Yeah. So 50 would be a nice compromise, but for all four. But whatever. Anyway, it's and I think what Ina Sheon was trying to do in his expressed intent with Ordinator was to get rid of a lot of those multi-tier perks, because there's only a few of them in Ordinator. Well, he went back to a lot of the multi-tier perks in Vokril, so there's a lot of 5-tier first level perks, so. But I think that was his impetus behind the the experimenter perk. Anywho, I thought that was a good dovetail with Kenneth's comments, because it really does do pretty much what he was describing.
Now, didn't he mention possibly destroying the ingredients at an alchemy station?
Yes, I think like you would same way you would with an enchanted item.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea where you are experimenting on it, and maybe it takes 5 or 6 tries to get the higher, the 4th one or something like that. I think that would balance it a little more too.
Yeah, I think that's what that perk I was describing is also sort of intending to do. It's the same idea. Yeah, the more
with
you
just
practice,
the mechanic of eating it instead of destroying it. Yep.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Either way. it makes a great deal of sense. And I've always liked alchemy. I even like the vanilla alchemy. I think it's awesome. It's one of my favorite, crafting slash, and it can be amazingly powerful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's when I do it, it's awesome, but when it's kind of just a little bit of a part of your game, it's really irritating to go around and collecting all that stuff.
Yes,
yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. Nowadays, I'm got a character who does alchemy, and alchemy is a big part of what he does, or I do zero alchemy. Like I'm doing with my current roundtable character, he does zero alchemy. He just sells all the he picks crap up, but that's because it's easy to sell. Alchemists will buy fucking anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's kind of true. Yeah.
Yeah. My last two characters, other than Hannes, or other than my roundtable character, have both been sort of pure alchemists, and so one of them without Keiko and one of them with, and I'm having a grand time with it. And none of this, and they're not thieves either, so there's no reverse pickpocketing or anything like that. It's all weapon based.
Using poisons and things like that. Yeah.
Yep. And you can take down some incredibly powerful enemies with some of these insanely powerful lingering damage health potions that you can make with things like Canis root and other stuff that'll just take multiple points per second off for 60 seconds. You can just watch a boss just sort of slowly just step back, hop up on a rock somewhere, and just watch him die. It can be a lot of fun.
The only problem is that bloody half the game's got undead on it, so half those bosses are completely immune, and you're like,
you're
bastard! Right. You're like a bag of poisons, and you're standing there at the front of the fucking.
Well, actually, Keiko has an ingredient attribute, and I forget which ingredients. A swamp fungal pod might be one of them, but anyway, which is lingering damage undead. So she has an idea for that, so, and that's pretty powerful too. Once you get that leveled up a ways.
I could see that maybe a bit of bone meal in there.
Yeah, it might be, or grave tar. That's one of her ingredients that she added. And there's a whole mess of stuff she's added to I keep finding new ingredients. It's a little overdone with the insects. There's multiple varieties of dragonflies and butterflies, and
I never butterflies. I do the dragonflies or whatever. Are they dragonflies?
Yeah, they're always flying around over water wherever.
Yeah, they call them something else, don't they? Or
darters.
Yeah. Dartwing. Something like that.
Yeah,
is that what it is? Yeah.
Isn't that Fallout?
Orange Dartwing. Is that?
Nope. Those Dartwing.
No, those are stingwings.
Yeah. Orange Dartwings and blue Dartwings in vanilla are like fortified pickpocketing and stuff like that.
Yep.
I never try and catch those.
Yeah. They're actually, once you practice at it a little ways, they're not too bad to catch, and you can also fish at the same time. I've got a huge backlog of unused dragonflies.
Unused dragonfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like those and the butterflies, as long as you're sneaking, you can usually grab them pretty easily.
Oh, that's a revelation. I never thought.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I find it's way easier. They don't fly away when you're sneaking.
Oh, okay. I usually just jump around a lot.
Yeah, well, that was the issue I was having as well. And I was like, what if I sneak? And I'm pretty sure I've noticed that they're way easier to catch. They kind of stay on the branches of whatever they're on as opposed to flying away.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, can you Fusro da butterfly?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Never
Never done that.
It's just like a butterfly is just like minding those business, and then suddenly, wow,
gone.
Yeah. If you could, where would you ever find it?
Yeah. Where would you find the rest of it? That's the good question. That is a question.
The butterfly will probably stay exactly where he is, but his wings would be in pieces about a mile away.
Yeah. You would shout it in Windhelm. He'd be in Whiterun somewhere. You find the wings in Whiterun. Yeah, I've never shot at the bugs. that I haven't done yet. But yeah, try sneaking with the butterflies, Victor. I think
I will.
Might help. I might work with the torch bugs also and things like that. I'm not sure. Maybe it's all the insects or all the insect type creatures.
Hmm.
But I definitely noticed it with the butterflies for sure.
Cool.
I generally have pretty good luck picking the wings.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see. I haven't really messed with any. I've been, just basic Xbox modding stuff with Connor, so I haven't really messed with anything new. I was gonna go on and see what was new in the Xbox world though, since he was playing that again.
God, I haven't turned on my Xbox to play Skyrim in a very long time.
I'm still playing it vanilla, and all those achievements are still popping up.
Oh, really?
Right, that's right. Yeah.
I got. I bought a couple of houses. I bought got the Riften house, and I think I have Breeze Home. I'm not too sure, or maybe not. I don't know whether I've got it or not, but I have. I bought the Riften home, and I bought the Vlindrel in Markarth. What else? I haven't got the Solitude one. I got a few because he's setting up his whatchamacallit, his Thieves Guild business. So he's currently got 200,000 gold or something like that now. But he's, as I said, he started buying houses, so it's going up and down at the moment.
I've been. I don't know if any of you guys have looked at this new. Is it Outland? This new RPG.
No.
That's been around. Sean was texting me about it earlier. It's pretty good, actually, from whatever. Outward, not Outland. Outward. It's on. I think it's on Steam. It's like you play a non-hero.
Huh.
You're like a. What's their little blurb?
Anti-hero?
Not an anti-hero. No, you're just you're just like some nondescript dude.
Oh, okay.
No Dragonborn. No.
Nothing like that.
Yeah. And things happen pretty much in real time. So if you get offered a quest and you say, "Well, I'll come back to that later," well, no, that's not going to happen.
That's not how it works.
Something's going to happen in the background. Yeah. Anyway, Sean seems to like it, so I think it's on. I mean, the Steam sale is still on for the rest of today. Anybody? There's a lot of good stuff.
It? God,
I'm gonna
have to get on there
till the end of the day. I've got several games that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise, like Watch Dogs 2, pretty cheap, which is really actually quite good. And Hitman 2. If you like the Hitman games, Hitman 2 is excellent.
I do enjoy the Hitman games, I have to admit. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played any of those.
Oh, I think you'd like those, Colin.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Definitely stealth games. And the latest two, the reboots they're incredibly versatile games. You can find multiple different ways of executing people.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I found the versatility, because I used to play the originals when they the original ones when they came out, and I definitely find these more versatile in overall than those were.
Yeah,
and enjoyable as well. So
yeah, a lot of very cool stuff. Definitely highly recommended. Hitman and the latest Hitman and Hitman 2 both.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the Steam sale then. Damn.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
I always end up buying a bunch of stuff and then never play it.
Also, another game, if anybody who's listening who likes word puzzles and stuff, and you guys too, for sure, check out a game called Baba Is You.
Huh.
You will probably hate me forever, but because it's an unusual game.
Huh. Baba Is You.
Baba Is You. Yeah. It's
to...
pretty cheap. So I bought it for my Switch. So
okay.
But
I think I heard somebody was talking about that I know actually and recommended it as well. Yeah.
It's a really fun cooperative game too. If
Okay.
you have people to play with and stuff, especially even people who don't game at all, like Vivian enjoyed it and was actually pretty damn good at it. And so it's a game for non-gamers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Baba is you.
Yep.
I will have to put that back on. I remember somebody mentioning it.
Puzzle games. No,
Yeah, it's a puzzle.
I both. Yeah, I love and hate puzzle games. I love
Agreed.
getting I love when a puzzle is forced on me, and then I'll sort of like figure it out, like in a game that I'm playing,
Uh-huh.
and I get a puzzle and it's been forced on me, and then I'll figure it out, and I feel a real great sense of achievement. But that's why I never play puzzle games, because after I figure out that fucking puzzle, guess what's waiting after that puzzle? Another fucking puzzle.
Another fucking puzzle, yeah.
And then another fucking puzzle. So don't play puzzle games if puzzles annoy you, because all you're gonna get after you solve the first puzzle is another puzzle.
Well, especially don't play them if you happen to be a controller thrower. Yeah, that's yeah. Like The Witness, I played that. I made it quite a ways through The Witness because I'm fairly good at certain kinds of puzzles. I'm really good at, and some I just can't do at all. And I hit the wall with The Witness.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Literally hit.
That is an awesome game in so many ways. But Baba Is You is as usual in my family. Sean is the best one at it. But it's literally is, and it's an old and kind of trite phrase now, but really literally is about thinking outside the box.
Interesting.
It's about switching words around so that things in the puzzle change. And just for instance, if you have if you need to block something or have to get somewhere, Baba, you can take you can select Baba is and you are three different little blocks with word, and there might be another thing that says wall is block. Well, if you move, block away from wall is and turn it into something else, then you can pass the wall. That's what Baba Is You is all about. It's all about moving words around if you when and if you can, and making new phrases and sometimes crosswords. It's insane. As it gets more complicated, it'll drive you insane. So
you're really selling.
Which is why it's a good co-op game.
Yeah. So that would because if you're playing something like that, you can easily get stuck in one frame of mind.
Yes,
it's hard to switch your thinking around. But if you have a second person look at it, it can definitely
Unfortunately, with Sean, somebody like Sean, a co-op game with Sean is like everybody sits around and watches Sean play the game. It's so much better than everybody else at it. But that's okay.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get Hitman 2 because I did play the first of the reboot. The other one that was out was a year or two ago, whatever it was. Really enjoyed the reboot quite a bit.
Yeah, it really is good. And this one actually, if you played through that reboot, the new one has actually a real story that sort of starts at the end of but this one is not subscription based. It's not, they completely did away with that.
Okay.
It's a package deal, and it has a real storyline that you go through.
Yeah.
So I did think of something. I'm sorry, before I forget, interrupt. If it hasn't been mentioned yet, Witcher 3 is coming to Switch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's going to be awesome too. Another awesome game to have mobile.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the Witcher TV show.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to be.
I don't know. That seems interesting. I mean, it's a story-based game, so the game has a lot of story to it. So
Is it based on the story or is it based on the books?
I think that the show, I hear that the show is going to be based on the books from the beginning of the story, whereas the game started like halfway through the books or something, or late in the books. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, and then I think they diverged off, I think.
Yeah, because I started reading the books and it's, when the books start very, very early on before he adopts Ciri, and so anyway, but I think that's where the show is going to start. But yeah, that was cool. That was a big surprise and really cool that they're bringing that to Switch.
Yeah, that is. That's just another great title you can take with you.
Yeah. And I think they're going to sell it as a package, including Blood and Wine and everything else. So you'll get all the
get everything.
DLC with it. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Have you played Witcher 3, Ray?
No, I haven't played any of them because they're third-person games.
Yeah. I have my feelings about that too, but Witcher does it pretty well. I have to say one thing about Hitman though, it's exactly the third-person perspective. It's like he's got a little pivot point about 3 feet behind him. He's got that really odd kind of rotational thing going, and it's really, I find that awkward. But
yeah, that does kind of happen. Yeah.
Which was it that Witcher game? I had it and enjoyed it to an extent, but not the character, and then I just lost interest in the game.
yeah, it's huge and there's so much to do. I found it. I kind of lost interest in it.
Yeah, I got into the city, and that's I done a few quests in the city,
Novigrad, or the big city there. Yeah,
the big, and then just lost interest. But it's mainly the character itself, and like
he is kind of dour, isn't
he? It seems to me to be an arrogant douche.
Yeah, well, he is kind of. He's a Witcher. I mean, that's the whole point. But yes, you're right. But he's got a heart, but that's if the Witchers are they aren't human, so that's or they're no longer human. They were once. So
I think if somebody said on some other podcast or a previous episode or something about role-playing games and character-playing games.
Yeah, that's I'm on about that a lot. I don't know if it was me or somebody else.
Yeah,
but,
I think it was you. Maybe it's one of the Skyrim ones, the feedback episodes that I wasn't on. I think. But yeah, that's it. Just takes me out of the game too much having to listen to his opinions about what's going on in the game.
No, I agree with you. I can get past it a little more, but I prefer a real true role playing game like Skyrim or whatever. But they're so rare.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
That was it. I was going to say that you were talking. That was it. I was listening to the podcasts. One of the, I think you were on with Steve, and I'm saying it now. There will be no voice protagonist in Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, I agree.
And there will be no co-op.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah,
there will be no option because, as Victor was saying, it can't be a choice that you can turn on or off because you'll take away from some part of the game to give you that choice.
Yeah,
it's like the voice protagonist, removing the voice protagonist mod from Fallout 4. All right, you've taken the voice away, but still, that's the only dialogue you're fucking left with. Even if you write it all out, it's still just the 3 or 4 choices every single time. That's all you get. Yep. So even if you do take the voice out and leave it as an option, there's still too much taken away because of the voice protagonist.
Yeah. Actually, and that again, sort of going back to Kenneth's feedback, he mentioned something about the way Skyrim can just sort of, the game can drive your story just from a random encounter. I don't even, Fallout 4 doesn't do that. And it's not just because of the voice protagonist, but it has a huge amount to do with it. And I really hope that they try to bring that back with Elder Scrolls 6, because it would be a terrible loss.
I would say that I agree with you as well about bringing the building aspect and sort of like the settlements and things like that into Elder Scrolls 6. I think they could have a little fun with that. I haven't played it, but to some extent, isn't that in Blades? Don't you have a town that you build up or something like that?
Yeah,
no idea.
To some extent, it's more very, very basic though.
Okay,
as opposed compared to the Fallout settlements. But yeah, I would say the settlement building would be nice to bring over, building like a camp or a town or whatever it is, a village, depending on where you are.
Yeah, but if they're going for like not just like a house and a little bit of land like in Skyrim,
Yeah.
that they're going for a proper settlement, then I would prefer it to be like one single settlement that you build up instead of like 30 fucking settlements that you can put all across the map. Like one sort of like bigger settlement that you can put in either a multitude of locations or you can put fucking anywhere you want. Because that's what people are always moaning about. Is that I found this great place for a settlement and I can't put it there. I can only put it where the game has told me for. So.
Well, if they provide the engine like they did in Fallout, that's that probably is the greatest thing about Fallout 4, I think anyway. But they provide the engine, and then you have somebody like Kingath who comes up with this incredible mod sim settlements that's sort of blossomed into this community. That would be kind of cool in Elder Scrolls 6 too. Because sim settlements is just amazing. It's almost worth going back and playing Fallout 4.
Well, this new Conqueror is just, it takes it to a completely different level.
Yeah.
Now it makes it worthwhile to be a Minuteman.
Oh, cool. Yeah. See, I've followed him and I've, supported him on Patreon and stuff. But I haven't. So tell what is it? What does it do?
So it gives you the option when you start the game. You can have more of the Commonwealth developed. So you can set varying levels of build out for all of the settlements in the game.
Oh, okay, cool.
It constantly progresses as you go through the game. Well, you at the very beginning in Conquered, you have the option to either join a raider faction and play the game as a raider, where you use alcohol, drugs, and money to recruit people, get them to run raids for you, and everything. Or you can more completely flesh out the Minuteman part of the game, and truly build out the wasteland, without just constantly doing, Preston needs you to go do, help this,
Yeah.
So
cool.
It changes the way that whole faction plays out.
Nice.
And the settlements, so he uses all of the the different community settlements that have been built out, and these things are just if you go to the top level of build out, they're just these there's back alleys and shopping centers and just these massive Starlight Drive-In is just an incredible build space, and so there's just all this stuff tightly packed in, and it just feels like the kind of town that you would find that had been being built for 250 years.
Yeah.
And your frame rate is about 1 frame per cup of coffee.
Yeah, you definitely suggest a fair amount of processing power.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
But to have something like that in Skyrim would be monumental.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could build your own town, there's some mods that have, you can build a fort and have your vendors and stuff in there. but to be able to, to build out something, 10 times as dense as Whiterun or Windhelm.
Yeah.
Uh,
One more mod shout out. I know we're running along here, and I sorry to interrupt, but just because you mentioned that there is a new mod like that for special edition called LC Citadel, and it looks and it is very much a town that you build and that has quest elements to it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
I think I saw that on the new mods list.
Yep, it just popped up a few days ago, and it almost immediately went to the top of the heap. Anyway, yeah, well worth checking out because it's sort of the kind of mod you were just talking about. So cool.
All right. Well, we don't have a date for the next roundtable yet. It'll probably be very end of July or in early August at some point. Because it can't be mid-July because I won't be here. So that eliminates those days immediately.
Yeah.
so look for that.
Already then.
So look for that either end of July, early August, something like that. Probably the next 2 weeks, probably have a 10AD coming up. And don't forget there is a 10AD dedicated feed starting from the beginning. Those are all scheduled out through August, actually. Releases every other week.
Do we have a 10AD, Colin? When's our next 10AD?
The 20-something of July.
Really?
The 21st
of
July.
Thank you, because I didn't have that in my calendar.
Oh
no, I did. I already. Yes, I'm sorry. Never mind. It's not in my calendar, but I did have it in mind because
I still have yet to edit the last episode.
Okay.
Because I'm dreading it because it was recording through Roll20's thing because
that's right.
YouTube messed up right before the start of the show, so it's not on the YouTube channel because Hangouts wasn't working and we had to record it separately. I think Andrew recorded it for us.
Yeah.
And we were talking through Roll20 and he sent me all the audio. I just have to find when I'm going to tackle it.
Yeah.
That sounds like a process.
Yeah. The day of the big YouTube crash, basically, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 10AD. Of course, there's a 10AD feed that is starting from the beginning. It's a couple episodes in now. So if you want to catch it from the beginning, you can head over there. If you're following it through Patreon, I think it's up to episode 31. I've been posting I posted the original Skyrim Roundtable on Patreon last week. I found it and was able to post that. So I think I can get the whole first season of the Roundtable. So I'll be posting those on Patreon. And I also posted the very first Fallout feed episode, which Andrew was not even on. I didn't even realize. I think it was like me and you, Victor, and Colin, maybe.
Yeah, because Andrew didn't want to play that stupid fog, and he was only into Skyrim.
Yes, that was the best part. Yeah, Andrew wasn't even on at all. I think it was the three of us, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to go back and listen again, but I'm pretty sure it was me and Victor and
Jack on there as well.
Somebody was on there. God, I forget who else.
That's a long time ago. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah. So yeah, Fallout feed without Andrew, because he was not going to play. He was all Skyrim all the time.
That's right.
We have a new feed for Dames Who Game. They're 2 episodes in.
Nice.
That has actually taken over the old Awesome Spaceship feed. But if you search Dames Who Game on iTunes or your whatever podcatcher, it will pop up there. And Shalene is hosting that along with Jen and Jess, and Sherry's been on there. And so they got a nice little roundtable discussion about gaming going on there. And what else? Let's see. Fallout feed, obviously going strong. New roundtable started, right?
Yep. We'll do our first full episode.
Is that for 76 or Fallout 4?
76.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best side quests.
Nice. So they have their their round table seems to be more efficient than ours. Might be because of Andrew. I'm not sure. He's very regimented.
Well, we're committed to every Thursday night.
Oh well, yeah. We're a little looser over here.
And this last week we had a special where we did a nuke run.
Oh, nice.
And so Jess launched her first nuclear warhead.
Ah, cool. Very cool.
Must be nice to be able to do a round table and play together.
That's
it's
true.
It's gotta be like an extreme dimension to it.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting. Unfortunately, now I'm the lone PC player.
Oh God! So now you're all alone.
Because Sarah Vossler had to bow out. So
geez.
now we've just got 3 Xboxers and me.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah. So my bid on last week's show had to be cut in.
Oh man. Well, if you want to do the roundtables, that information's always up on asapodcasting.com. Actually, and I have fixed the links for donating to Cystic Fibrosis Foundation through there. That'll be the links we end up using for the charity event at the end of the year. But they're all proper now on the website. I was playing with those today and fixing those while I was falling asleep, which was fun. And other than that, if you want to support the show on Patreon, it just helps pay for all the feeds for all the different shows and keeping them going. So that's all I got. Thanks everybody for listening. And happy Skyriming.
See you in the wasteland. I mean,
night, guys.
Later, everybody.
Bye-bye.